What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Today we are going to be taking a look at Hogz today. He's going to be playing Hulk in this game. You can see it is a pretty stacked lobby. He is playing with Mace, Amazing, and Karova, and team captain is also on the other team as well. So it's going to be a bit of a stacked lobby. It's going to be a bit of a grueler, and let's just get right into it and let's see some good Hulk gameplay. I was looking for a nice Hulk gameplay to showcase. This might be a little bit one-sided just because they are all like MRC players on one team too, but I think this is still a good showcase of what you can do with Hulk, what you want to be thinking about doing with Hulk. But let me know in the comments if you have a replay that you want me to watch, if you want me to make a spectating video about you specifically, or if you have another player that you've seen play Hulk in a different way than anybody else. That would be very cool to see as well. So right away, getting on high ground, don't believe that you can go over that. You might be able to, but getting right over here, waiting for Mace to step up, taking high ground right next to the enemy. And if you haven't played Hulk before, you will notice that that meter on the right-hand side of his screen is pretty consistently filling up. So as soon as he lands, he's pretty much just holding down spacebar to charge up that meter again so that he's able to jump. Even if you're holding down spacebar and you have that meter all the way filled up, you can still use all of your abilities. So it's not taking anything away. As you can see, he's just holding that down, ready to jump at a moment's notice. Sees the Luna in the back, but drops a little bit low. Jumps back to his team, popping his shift to shield himself from harm, and then playing that little pillar for line of sight so he doesn't take any additional damage while his team heals him up. Jumps right back in. Amazing gets a nice kill on the Doctor Strange there, and he goes right back in on the Mantis here, trying to get some pressure on their healers and zone them off the fight a little bit. Their Luna has already farmed ult as well as the rocket, so not going to be able to take anyone out here, and they're going to be taking a little bit more damage themselves. Luckily, their Luna has ult for that, and he's just going to sit on these healers, making sure that he's playing this window, trying to zone these healers as much as possible, ulting to push the rocket off the point. And you can see Hulk with that mobility, holding down that spacebar pretty much the whole time. He's able to actually effectively chase down a rocket, and rocket is one of the more mobile healers in the game as well. So they do lose their Mantis, but he's able to run down this Luna without the help of her team. Run down the Magic over here too in this little hallway. Unable to jump out and should just be taken out in the backline here, but while the Magic is dealing with him, they do lose their Hulk and their Mantis, so going to be fighting a person up. One more up as the enemy team loses their Doctor Strange once again to Amazing. Karova getting a nice kill on the Magic, and Mace following up, taking out the Luna, and they're able to get this first point with a score of 1-0, just over 4 minutes on the clock. I think this hallway is a little bit difficult to play as Hulk. It kind of seems that way. You'll see in this replay. I have watched this once through just to see what was going on, but he is able to jump towards the backline, find the res beacon, and they're able to take out that major part of Rocket's kit, put that on a 40-some second cooldown. Jumping over to high ground, making sure that he's not just staying in the front line, soaking damage, building the enemy team's ults. He's jumping around, and as soon as he sees Hulk go towards his team, tries to put a little bit more pressure on him, get him to jump out. Jumping back to his team when he needs heals. Again, going back to high ground, not able to get through that window there, but just waiting for the time that his team wants to push, and then they can make something happen. Rocket ult comes out from the other team, so they're just going to back up a little bit. Line of sight just a little bit so they can soak a little bit more damage, and he drops very, very low here, going to get sent back into Bruce Banner form. His Mantis pops ult, but Eye of Agamotto comes in, but they're able to stay pretty safe here. Enemy Luna ult comes out, going to be a little bit more of a wet noodle fight again. Amazing ult gets that Hela up in the sky. They get a nice pick on the Magic, but she's quickly rezzed by the rocket beacon that is now off cooldown. He's just going to be sitting here, punching away at people, trying to make sure that he can help out his backline as they get dove here. But Darkchild comes in as well. Hulk ult comes in, so they're probably just not going to win this fight. Just going to go back to spawn, fully reset, block this doorway, and get one more good push. He does have access to ult. They do have access to Karova's res. So just going to wait for the rest of his team to come in behind him. And then make his way over. Check for the res beacon where it previously was. Check for it down there. Rocket actually just throws it out right now. Forces him to cancel it as well. Should be on still the low cooldown, but has ult, so goes right into this backline. Knows that he can do a ton of damage to them. Unfortunately gets frozen, but spamming his right click, trying to get this Mantis low, ends up getting a nice pick on her. And -2 healers. Rocket is not able to keep the rest of his team alive. And they're able to take out another 3 members in addition to the Mantis without actually expending an ult. Get a ton of distance on this payload just because he ulted and pushed pretty much their entire healing line back. So definitely keep that in mind when you're playing Hulk. Get on those healers. A lot of them do lack a little bit of self-healing, like Luna and like Invisible Woman too. They don't have a whole lot of self-healing, so you just can sit there and smack them. You're going to be in a good spot. Trying to make a little bit of space for his team, but sees Doctor Strange ult his backline, tries to quickly jump back and help them out. Sees the enemy Mantis way out of position on high ground. Unfortunately is slept, so Mantis is going to be able to get away from him just a little bit, but she is way away from him. Gets a nice exile on her and just chases her down. As they get one more, they take out the Doctor Strange, the enemy team, and he quickly leaps all the way back to his team. Karova reses Mace to keep this push going, and he's able to stay on this rocket here. Taking the rocket out and then right back on the Luna. Without the help of her other healers, she should go down relatively easily. Puts her in a position where Doctor Strange can get a nice ult on her. They get a nice 2-piece. And they're just going to take this banner down. Getting a nice stagger on the Doctor Strange as well. He plays his backline pressure very, very good this game too. So definitely, if you're just wailing on like a Magneto, just meleeing a Magneto or something on Hulk, maybe consider going to the backline, making sure that you can create a little bit of chaos there. Even if you don't take anybody out, they're going to be worrying about you. They're going to be a little bit in disarray. Sometimes that can make all the difference, honestly, in winning and losing a game. So tries to get a nice flank here, but there's a couple members of the enemy team looking to stop him from doing so. Jumps right in, knows he has ult, goes for the res beacon, gets it a little bit low, is able to take it out. And as you can see, he is taken out there, but right as he drops low, he does let go of his spacebar so he can jump all the way back to his team. Darkchild comes in, so does Rocket ult. His team is just going to get a full reset there, not going to expend any ults, saving Mantis ult for when they actually push up. Getting right back into things, hulking out off spawn, holding down spacebar to get quickly back into the fight. The enemy team does have the exact same amount of ults as them, so this is going to be a bit of a grueler. Imprisons the Luna and doesn't actually go for her, jumps over her knowing that she is CC'd. Doesn't last too long, but doesn't want to break that CC, just wants to make sure that there's a little bit more pressure with a -1 healer. Drops kind of low here, has access to ult, forces the Luna ult. Tries to keep Mantis out of it by using the Hulk left click knockback effect. And just spamming his right click as he's in Mega Hulk form. Not able to get a KO on the Mantis there. Especially as the Hulk on the enemy team, the Doctor Strange, and the Luna all blow ult. But his Cloak and Dagger makes a nice trail of smoke for them to follow. And get a little bit more distance as they push into the enemy's spawn. With hella ult keeping the enemy at bay. The other team does lose access to their Hulk, so he should be able to dive the backline here in a second. But trying to stay on or close to cart just because overtime is triggered. Wants to make sure that he can quickly reach that if someone is able to is forced to step off before getting on this Luna. Gets taken out very, very quickly here. But Karova gets a nice res around the corner. Spawns, and that is a little bit sketchy because you do spawn as Bruce, so he has to quickly spam his Hulk to make sure that he has his good health pool. Jumps back in and starts going in on this Luna again. The enemy Doctor Strange ults, only able to get 1 though. They still have 2 healers on their team though, so they'll be able to stay a little bit safe. Luna has successfully farmed ult, and he just body blocks for Mace here as he sets up portals on the spawn. his Cloak and Dagger ulting to make sure that they can just stand on point in this Dark Child effect and fully out heal that ult. Staying on the cart, making sure overtime does not go anywhere. Has access to ult, so just waiting for his opportunity to use that as he drops low or something. Jumps right back to point. He's just holding down left click, holding down spacebar. Feels like this character, you really do just hold down buttons, and it's a good time. So gets frozen, but they do take out the Hulk, and this is where he's going to ult just to try and finish off the enemy team. Gets a nice clap on the Doctor Strange, runs the Mantis down in spawn, and his team secures the victory of the round with a score of 3-0. So pretty good round. Has a lot of good backline pressure there. He is also playing with a very good team, so that is something to be said, but he does put a lot of pressure on their healers, make their jobs very, very difficult, and he even forces that Luna ult prematurely as well so that the Luna doesn't die. So just waiting on high ground, waiting for his opportunity. On defense again as Hulk, jumping in as this Doctor Strange steps up, trying to get a cheeky in prison or exile. The Punisher infinite ammo has come out, so he's just going to stand behind this corner, not taking too much damage from that. As it fades, he peeks out a little bit more, but still playing a little bit more line of sight, waiting for the enemy to step up, waiting for someone to get out of position. Goes for the Doctor Strange, who steps up a little bit. I think he probably should have gone for backline here, but he does drop very, very low, so he probably wouldn't have survived in the backline anyway. They quickly lose their Mantis Strange, and he is taken out as well. Mantis uses her Cocoon thanks to Karova's passive ability, or team-up ability, I should say. Luckily, they're able to Doctor Strange portal, get right back into the thick of things, breaks the sleep on the Doctor Strange, and tries to stay on point, setting his sights on the Mantis over here, holding down his spacebar to make sure that he can chase her even to high ground. Rymazing gets a nice kill on the Mantis, but she is quickly rezzed by the rocket. And this is where the Punisher is going a little bit crazy. I think he should have picked a different place for cover, because he is going to get absolutely shredded, and the rest of his team is going to follow. They do concede this first point with just about 5 minutes on the clock, so this is going to be a little bit of a tougher hold for them. But especially with no ult access, they have no defensive ults that they can use, and they are staring down the barrel of a Luna ult and a Doctor Strange ult, so that's going to be a little bit scary. But far from over. They still have plenty of time to turn this around. Gets right in the Mantis, and this is why you hold spacebar. As you saw, he was holding down spacebar, had his jump ready, so that when he got slept, he goes in on the Mantis here. We're going to rewind just to see this a little bit, but this is why you hold down spacebar. He's got his jump ready, gets on Mantis, tries to jump out, and as she sleeps him, he's already in the air, so the momentum carries him away. That could have been a very, very different situation if he was slept and just kind of caught out in their backline. The whole team could have just turned on him, and he might have been just one shot. Running right back into the fight, using his shift to give himself a little bit more durability. Rymazing is able to take out Team Captain, but rezzed by the rocket. And now he knows he has access to ult. He can play a little bit more aggressive. Goes in on this backline. Not able to get anything. Has to drop back to this health pack. They do have Dark Child going, which forces the Luna ult out of the enemy Luna. And the infinite ammo is going to be a little bit scary, but he still goes for the ult. Getting a lot of disruption. Nice clap onto the Punisher. The right click in Hulk's Mega Form does a ridiculous amount of damage. So if you're not spamming that, you're crazy, man. That's you definitely want to be doing that. You pretty much two-tap someone, and it's on a really reduced cooldown, so make sure you're keeping an eye on that as well. See, it's like 7 seconds in this form. I think it's like 2 or something like that in Mega Form. So make sure that that is something that you're spamming. I do see a lot of higher level Hulks also not use there's like the slam combo if you reactivate your Q and you can CC somebody. I think that's pretty situational. Most of the time you just want to use your auto attacks and your right click. Seems like you get a little bit more value that way. They do lose Mace and the Adam Warlock, but he body blocks for the Cocoon. Super good awareness on his part. Sees where the Adam is looking to res and stands right in front of him to make sure he doesn't get clipped right off spawn. Going right back over to the side here. Misses the ledge that I think he was going for, but body blocks for this Magic. Unfortunately not able to save her. She is taken out around the corner. They do lose Mace as well. As the Adam Warlock ult comes out, Doctor Strange able to block the enemy Doctor Strange ult. Very, very good. If you play Doctor Strange too, you can block Doctor Strange ult with his shield, but Mag cannot block it, I believe. So keep that in mind. Another Dark Child comes in, and he is looking to make something happen in the backline, so gets right back in on this Punisher. They do force Luna ult yet again. Going to keep people pretty safe, but they do actually take out the Punisher through that. I'm not sure how he's dying there. Was that just too much damage? I mean, that's like a little bit crazy that they were able to take out Punisher there. I'm just going to rewind to make sure that we can... I don't know. Might have just been too much damage. It looks like he's in the Luna ult to me. Yeah, I don't know. He just gets fried there. Yeah, I don't think it's been a while since I've seen anyone die in a Luna ult. So it will keep you alive, but not through everything, it appears. And they have held they gave up the first point pretty easily, with like 5 minutes on the clock, but they are holding pretty well at 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Still has access to his Hulk ult, so tons of damage coming out on their backline. Knows that they do not have access to Luna ult. Gets right back in. All three healers are right on top of him. And does blow his ult to make sure he doesn't die there. Tries to get some damage on this Punisher. Unfortunately, Invisible Woman ult comes out, keeps him nice and safe. And the rest of his team just backs up to line of sight all the Punisher damage. It would have been nice if he had gotten a cheeky kill on him right as he pops his ult, but they should not lose too much ground because of his death. They were going to back up anyway, and he's back up before a whole lot even happens. Jumping right back in, playing sort of where Amazing is looking to play as Magic. They know the enemy team is looking at them, so they're going to reposition just a little bit. As his Mantis ult comes out, feels a little bit more confident, just goes in and starts thwacking away. They do force the enemy Mantis ult pretty much immediately. And he's just going to be jumping in, jumping out, moving all over the place, make himself a little bit of a harder target to hit. He does take a good amount of damage this game, but he also makes himself a pretty hard target, and he doesn't just stand in the front line soaking damage too much. Doctor Strange gets a very nice ult, but they are able to stay alive through it. And there's once again another Punisher ult. He actually gets shredded. Just as I say, he's not taking a whole lot of damage. He does take quite a bit of damage, but I do see a lot of Hulks that just kind of almost feed ults too. It's good to help your healers get ults, take enough damage to make sure that your healers can get ults, but making sure that you're not taking too much damage and just letting the enemy farm off you. Getting some damage through this Doctor Strange shield. Dark Child comes out, Invisible Woman ult from the enemy team comes out, jumps back to spawn to get a quick heal, and almost is not able to run back through that portal. Playing for this overtime, really trying to make sure that this enemy does not get this last little sliver of push going. They do take out the Mantis, the Invisible Woman, Rocket, Doctor Strange, and he pops ult to secure the victory there. They finish the game with a score of 3-1, and they are successful in holding that 5-minute push. So, very good round. I don't think, again, not too crazy of Hulk gameplay, but it's still a good showcase of what Hulk can do. Still gets on the backline a great deal, makes their lives miserable, jumps back to his team, helps them out with tanks when he needs to, gets a couple of nice ults to push the enemy team back, and plays overtime very well. So, as you can see, does a good amount of damage. Blocks a good amount of damage, not the same as the Doctor Strange, which is a good thing because he doesn't have a shield, so this is all body block basically. But yeah, if you want to check this replay out for yourself, spectate anyone else in this game too, I will put the replay ID in the description below. Like the video if you liked it, comment what you want to see next, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.